An Israeli airstrike destroyed a high-rise building in Gaza City. We saw those pictures beaming live on Republic TV a few minutes back. The strike came nearly an hour after the military ordered people to evacuate the building. The strike brought the entire 12-story building down, collapsing with a gigantic cloud of dust. The airstrikes on Hamas terror posts come after constant rocket attacks by Hamas terrorists in Israeli civilian areas. As per Israeli military, at least 2,000 rockets have been launched since Monday. And on the biggest story tonight, we have Maher Moses, he's an airline consultant. He's joining us live from Ashdod. He's witnessing what is happening there in Israel, the constant rocket attacks coming in from Gaza City, fired by Hamas terrorists. I would like to welcome our guest, Maher Moses. Welcome to Republic TV. You're joining us live from Ashdod. If you could describe the situation there in Ashdod right now, if you could tell us what is happening there.
Okay. Right now it's calm now. It's last bombing was something around at 3 o'clock, 3:15, and whole night we have been awake. It's like starting from 10th of May to date till after late afternoon. It's a constant bombarding, and it's a restless day, a restless night, any time of the day. So it's very bothering. Yeah.
Mr. Moses, if you could tell us how these last few days have been, because we know from Monday there have been constant rocket attacks on different Israeli cities. You are right now in Ashdod. If you could tell our viewers how far this city is from the borders, from Gaza City, from where the rockets are being fired, and how has each night been for the people living there in southern Israel?
Correct. Ashdod is a port city. Around 35 to 38 kilometers north of Gaza, because Gaza is connected on the south by the Egyptian border, and on north and east it is Israel, and west is Mediterranean Sea. We are in Ashdod, which is a port city, the second biggest port in Israel after Haifa, and down third is Eilat. And the rockets they've been bombarding day in and day out, and the moment the siren goes off, you got to rush out of the house, because we don't have a bunker in the house. So we have to go either near the staircase, which is a strong RCC structure, or go down to the basement, which is a bunker. But there are people who have to, the old buildings, they have to rush out on the streets, because the bunkers are common bunkers. But just imagine that you are given anything between 15 seconds to 30 seconds, maximum 45 seconds if you are moving away from Gaza. You are sleeping, you are eating, you are maybe in the washroom, and elders, old, children, paraplegics. How can you do this? It's impossible, it's insane. And why do this? And it's bad. It's not a good thing. It's taking the toll on your mind. We are petrified. And of course, we are getting used to it. That doesn't mean that we want to have these things keep on coming. This has to stop somewhere, and stop immediately. So it is these are tense moments. It's like more than 3/4 of Israel is now under rocket attack.
Mr. Maher Moses, if you can tell us, you said that you have a very brief period when the sirens go off. If you can tell us how many nights, how many sirens have you witnessed? How many warning signals have been given so far since Monday for the people in Ashdod there?
Yeah, you could count. See, when the siren goes off, you have to rush. Like with the time, as I mentioned, around between 30 to 45 seconds, because we are little beyond 30 kilometers. So when you are rushing out, and when you are standing out, you are in the secured area, then you keep on listening to some more sirens coming up. So it's only the first one which tells you to move out, but there are repeated, and then you can hear the blast, like as if you are in a quarry. The dynamite blasting, like shaking you. Absolutely, your mind and body, everything shakes. You can see the glass shaking and like you see people shivering and standing, small kids. You're halfway in the sleep, morning time, afternoon time, any time of the day. There's nothing like a timetable. And you can also hear them blasting. Sometimes it doesn't fall. Most of the time they have been taken care of. And Israel is doing its best to stop this blasting. But even if the blast happens in the air above the buildings, you can still feel it down on the ground floor. It's such use. So this is the scenario.
Mr. Moses, if you can tell our viewers how these bunkers are, where these bunkers are, how much time does it take for one person to go from his house, his or her respective house, to the bunkers? If I believe if you can give us a demonstration, show us a bunker or something like that.
I will tell you something, and then I'll probably take you across to the bunker in my building.
Okay.
Usually first the bunkers used to be in the open areas for people to access it. Then as they started progressing and these threats kept on looming, coming time and again, then they had bunkers in the building. But since last 20 years, they have a provision, it's like a rule, a law, that every new construction should have a bunker in the house. For example, you have 4 blocks on a floor. Every apartment will have one bunker room, strong room. And bungalows will have everything. So they are curtailing, they're trying their best to improve on the situation. And these are all precautionary measures. It is not that we have bunkers and we keep bombing there. It's not. It should not go that way. It is for your self-defense protection. So I will just walk out of my house and show you what the bunker looks like.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just going out of my house.
Yes. So viewers, just giving you a brief account, Mr. Mayo Moses is joining us live from Ashdod, and he's now moving to show us a bunker in his residential area. He's an airline consultant and he's living in Ashdod, which is a main port city in southern Israel. He is a native of from Mumbai, from Thane, I believe, and he's been living in Israel for many years for now. And right now he's just showing us the ground situation, taking us towards the bunker area, because like he's told us that when the sirens go off in the cities, when the Israel military is alerted of a possible rocket attack, Hamas rocket attack, the sirens go off, and that's when it's a cue for the residents to move towards the bunker areas from wherever they are. So this is Mr. Mayo Moses giving us an idea of how bunkers are built and how bunkers are stationed in every residential building is what he was telling us. I believe that's a bad network that we have there. But yeah, that's the bunker, that's the opening of the bunker, I believe.
I'm just putting the torch on.
Yes.
I'm watching. This is what is written. Hello?
Yes. We can't. The frame is a little frozen, but if you can describe to us what the bunker looks like, we have an idea right now. We have an idea of how the bunker looks. If you can just.
It's a strong room. It's a strong room made of concrete.
Yes.
You can be there, and sometimes they have an exit.
Mr. Moses, if I can request you to move back to where you can get a better network.
Okay.
Yeah, so that from there maybe you can describe to us how the bunker is.
Correct. Okay. I wanted to show you, but it's not catching there in that area.
Okay. Mr. Moses, if it's possible. Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah, I can hear you, so maybe you can describe to us. Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. It's a strong room. You rush out. It's a room. Room is, for example, if I give you an example of a room, maybe if you have a 3-bedroom hall flat, 1 bedroom is a strong room, which is made of, which has a strong door, which has got 1 window, which has got like a bomb-proof glass, and also a strong iron door. So you usually stay there. You have a bed, some food, and everything stored there. People on on routine basis, you can use it as a bedroom. But or otherwise, that's a strong room. So you are sort of very safe in that room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Moses, I would like to thank you very much for joining us this evening on Republic TV and giving us a first-person account of the conflict as an Indian living in Israel. Giving us an account, giving us a detailed account and showing us about, talking to us about the strong rooms that have been built and the bunker areas. Thank you very much, Mr. Moses, for joining us on this live coverage.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.